All right. Go ahead, Marie.
All right. Well, I would like to welcome everybody here today from wherever you're from. I know it's toasty in lots of parts of the country right now, so hopefully you're staying cool, if that includes the area that you're here from. Thanks for everybody for joining us today for our June CPS Coordinators Forum. As a reminder, the CPS Coordinators Forum will be bi-monthly to support the Educators Forum. I am Marie Snodgrass. I'm the community engagement. Nope, that's James. I am on the community engagement subcommittee, but I am the injury prevention and healthcare representative for the National Child Passenger Safety Board. And it is my honor to serve as the moderator for today's CPS Coordinators Forum. Just a reminder to everybody, attendees are requested not to participate in this webinar if you're operating a motor vehicle. The forum will be recorded and you can listen to the recording when you safely arrive at your destination. It will be posted to the cps.org/state coordinator/forum website in 1 to 2 days. Kendra is amazing about that, and we thank her for all of her hard work with that. So that is all I have to get us started today. Moving my notes out of the way. So just to kind of continue the conversation, last month was amazing. I don't know if I'm supposed to keep talking, James, or if you are going to take over, but I'm just going to keep talking. To keep our conversation going, it was amazing. We got really great feedback, and we're so thrilled that so many people were participating and had so much great information to share. And so we wanted to kind of keep that ball rolling and get some information and some feedback from everybody on how you are keeping your technicians, how you're keeping them certified, recertified, how you're finding technicians, how you're keeping your technician pool active in your regions, in your state. So we would love for some info.
I think Marie just froze up, so I'll jump in while we're going. Again, welcome everybody.
For many of us.
Marie's not giving herself enough credit. She's the co-chair for the Community Engagement Committee. We're thrilled to have her. I appreciate Anna, Kendra, Mandy, everyone else joining us today as well. As Marie was saying, we just want to continue the conversation. We want these to be very open dialogues amongst colleagues. As state coordinators, you guys have a lot of great information to share. And one of the topics that we really found got a great reaction from everybody last time we got together was recertification for technicians. How do we keep them engaged? How do we actually bring them into the fold? So wanted to start there today with, and again, please feel free to jump in. You can throw information in the chat. You can use the QR code if you like, or you can just come off mute and start talking by all means, because we want you guys to share the ideas. This is really your time to work with your colleagues, and we're here to support in any way we can. So with that said, if anybody has some challenges you've seen, if you want to share what your recertification rates are for your state, that's fantastic as well. And just some of the ideas of what you do to engage with technicians to keep them or to get them interested in participating in the first place. Don't everybody jump in at one time, guys.
And it could also be not just keeping them, but keeping them engaged and coming to check-up events, coming to your CEU sessions and getting their buy-in.
I'll jump in. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Anna Red. I'm from Texas, and I'm the program manager for our statewide projects. So some of our statewide projects, we do have a mentorship and retention program. So what they do is they go across the state and they work with different agencies and within the communities. Actually, we have an event coming up this coming weekend. So this coming Friday, and what they do is they try to go to the rural areas, and what they'll do is they'll send out a mass email to the areas that they're traveling to, and they'll invite all the technicians within those areas to come out and join them. But prior to coming out and joining them, they do host a roundtable discussion just so that they can go over their forms. Like last week, they had that meeting for the event coming up on Friday, and they go over their forms and what to expect. And then they let them know that there's opportunities for seat sign-offs. There's going to be like 5 instructors there. And that's what they do across the state in all different areas. But also here locally, what we do, since we're with the State Highway Safety Office, we have 24 districts, and we have traffic safety specialists. And all of our traffic safety specialists are certified. And I provide an updated technician and instructor list to them probably every month whenever they request it. And when they have events going on, they send out a mass email to the technicians within their communities to keep them engaged.
Amazing. Thank you, Anna. No, I was just in Texas with your updates, and you guys do a great job of engaging. There's so many opportunities for techs. Tracy, I saw you come off mute. Would you like to add?
Looks like I'll go ahead and speak up, James. So,
Please, thanks.
sorry if I'm cutting you off, Tracy. So my name's Greg. I work for High Department of Health, and so we kind of similar to what you were kind of talking about. And for us, we have a grant where we have identified 8 different agencies, which is really individuals. So we kind of split Ohio up into different regions, and so we fund those different individuals at kind of our regional coordinators for occupant protection. We fund them to, host classes, as instructors, and they reach out to those communities. And part of the grant we do have where they have to host events and do those car seat events, and they have to manage, each of those sites within each of those counties within their region. And so that's kind of that branching out chain of things. We've split the state up and identified individuals, and they're champions of those regions, and they reach out to those counties who those individuals in the counties are kind of champions for their counties and try to work within those communities. We fund these regional coordinators to host classes so we can get more techs. We fund them so they can do recertifications, renewals. And so that's kind of that branching out as much as we can. We provide them with those recertification rates, just like you, Anna. Try to do monthly. You send out, what techs are expired, which ones are potentially going to expire soon. So try to get those individuals to not expire, or if they have recently, and they do a lot of emailing, and there's individual things that within their region, what works best for their region, for their counties and everything. And so they kind of work within the network that they have, what their agency has. We are able to provide seats, so that's kind of the incentive as well, as within those counties, each of them do get car seats, and so it's part of that process as well. So it's not so much on the ownership of me reaching out to our techs, it's establishing a good way of communication, like you had, Anna, in Texas, and offering continuing education in classes and as much as we can. So I think we're in a pretty good spot. So.
I'll go next. This is Beth Washington from Safe Kids Tulsa, and we do offer scholarships for individuals who want to become a technician, and to do that, they must attend at least 2 of our events, and then we also do scholarships for recertification if they do attend those events and stuff. We locally, we do gift cards for volunteers, and then we also go out throughout Eastern Oklahoma, because the way we're split up in Oklahoma is Safe Kids Tulsa takes care of all of Eastern Oklahoma, and we do tech updates, provide car seats at those events, and provide also a car seat check during that tech update. And we email individuals in those surrounding counties where we're offering those tech updates. and then also emailing when we're just doing car seat checks and inviting people to those events.
Great. Thank you, Beth. And congratulations to Oklahoma on winning the NBA title. Guys, we'd like to have it back in Toronto at some point, but we'll be patient.
Okay.
Carrie Lee, if I butchered your name, I apologize, but I see your hand up there. You're on mute. We can't hear you yet.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
A lot of the things that Beth mentioned, we do as well. But we do have one event that's pretty unusual. Every summer, our Junior League of Salt Lake City puts forth probably $20,000 to $30,000 worth of car seats. And we've been doing this for years and years, where we provide the technicians to come and teach people and install those car seats. And it's kind of a crazy event. However, it gives our technicians the opportunity to see older cars and all of the technical things that pop up. And so we feel like it's a really good training event and a way for us to support our community in getting lots of car seats out there. So.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. I want to kind of drive things in a slightly different direction. So we know we can get techs certified, but how do we get people engaged as community volunteers? How do we get them out there? How do we get them out to the events? How do we get them to actually use the skills they learned? We know a lot of people do, and I think for some it's intimidating to try to break into the different groups. So what are some of the success stories that you guys have from that, from actually getting new technicians involved?
I can start. I can share something. So right away after we have our technician courses, we have an email newsletter that we send out that goes out monthly, that shares all of our upcoming events that we have in our county and in the surrounding counties. And then we also will have like tech tips and different things like that, but just some like friendly little like outreach things. And we make a point of including all of our new technicians on that. And so right away we've got, we're trying to get them aware of what's going on, trying to get them aware of the events in the community. I've heard people say before, like, well, I haven't been invited to any events. And so we try to avoid that. I don't know how else to invite them, but we're trying our hardest, but that's one of the ways that I think that we're reaching. We tell them about webinars so they know about CEU opportunities. We kind of keep them engaged that way, but at least they know about all of our events and they know who to contact if they want to come to volunteer, things like that. So that's been really valuable and really helpful for us. And it's just just adding one more name on a list, or of an email that's already going out to people. So.
Awesome. Thanks, Marie. Tracy, go ahead, please.
Hey, so I wanted to share that we do a monthly newsletter too here in Montana. And in my monthly newsletter, I try to get a picture of every certification course. And then I put it in the newsletter, like, welcome to our new group of Montana techs, and share their location so other people can see and say to themselves, hey, oh, look, I've got someone new in my area. And I encourage them to reach out. I give everybody the tech and instructor list. And then about maybe a year and a half ago, we started we started out as bi-monthly. It was a forum. It was a bi-monthly Zoom forum open to let technicians talk to our instructor team. And so we would just have random instructors who are available that day join and let our technicians just ask questions and share ideas, and just leave it completely open for them to get an idea of what's going on or what their needs are. And we found that some of the things that we didn't realize were going on in some of our rural areas, or some of the help that they needed, would come out in those forums. So what started out as a bi-monthly forum is pretty much now a monthly forum. And since Montana just passed a new child passenger safety law that will go into effect October 1, we're now, the next few forums will be getting their, sharing with them what that's going to look like and getting their input on some materials that we're going to distribute. So we had one 2 weeks ago, and we had really good participation, and a lot of them were our brand new techs who wanted to know about the new law, so they were on the same page, but they also wanted to I feel like they felt like it was helpful to bring them into developing some flyers and posters for that new law. So it's been really helpful for us.
That's great. Thank you so much, Tracy. I think obviously everyone at some point was a new tech, right? Everyone broke into this field at one time or another. And I think I speak fairly confidently for everybody that it can be intimidating to break into these groups. I mean, a lot of technicians have been around for a long time. A lot of groups have worked together for a long time. So what are some of those kind of steps for the brand new techs out there who are probably feeling the same way, a little bit intimidated, that we can make it more comfortable for them to kind of break in and work with some of the more experienced and get, the most we can out of their excitement and their passion for getting into this field? See, Jason has a private CPST Facebook page. Jason, is that something that's extended to all the new techs as well, or is that just hopefully they find you guys and are able to join?
No, that is extended to all the techs. And I usually go to every class if I can the last day and introduce myself, tell them about all the different resources, the instructor list, recertification, get engaged, don't be afraid, all those kind of things. So I try to do it in person if I can. Otherwise, I do it Zoom. Nebraska, we're a little smaller. We only have about 350 techs, but the more we can get out there. And then I also then send the list of technicians to the local Safe Kids programs or the local instructors, so they get that list. We have a release they sign, so they know they're getting it, everything like that. So, but that's where, and then the Facebook page is pretty interactive. They can get questions answered and that kind of stuff. So, but.
It's amazing. Thank you. You must rack up some good mileage though, getting around all these classes. Mandy, you have your hand up. I'd love to hear from you.
I think Tracy had hers up first, though.
Is yours still up, Tracy, or was that from before, a new one?
I'm good. That was from before. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, you're up, Mandy.
All right. So I actually find every once in a while that, especially with our newer techs, a phone call makes a difference. Because we all get a lot of emails. And even if I tell them they can respond via email, they don't have to call me back, or they can text. Finding a way to give people kind of a really warm welcome, I found has been effective. That also goes for recertification. So sometimes just a phone call makes a difference rather than the email. And I think it's pretty effective.
Agree. It's nothing like that little personal touch and kind of connecting with somebody like that. Tiffany's got a suggestion, and well, Tiffany, feel free to come up and talk to us if you'd like to, but Tiffany wrote in the chat that some of our regional coordinators pair up new tech with a veteran tech in their area, which I think is a great idea, kind of a mentor process, however you like to pronounce it. I know us Canadians are weird with our pronunciations. Some regional coordinators have private Facebook page as well, which is great. It's a great way to connect. Greg, we see you smiling. Did you have something to add to that?
No, I was just listening because Tiffany's, I work under her in Ohio. And so she's speaking to a lot of those regional coordinators and some of those instructor classes. And I can speak to that component of, those veteran techs in a lot of cases are sometimes helping out in the classes or, are involved in the region, because a lot of our regional coordinators, they have these kind of meetings monthly with all their sites, and that veteran aspect pairing up with someone new, I can definitely say that kind of happens. It kind of, an asset, because, the messaging comes across. It takes time when you're a new tech to gain the experience and to kind of know what to do in some of the cases where you kind of got to figure it out. And it doesn't mean you guess and just kind of do whatever, but there's a process to dealing with each different car seats and different cars with different families. And so that's what it kind of speaks to, is being able to reach out to someone or their techs nearby. I think that's a component that a lot of the instructors, they talk about. It's kind of like, you're not on your own. We can't be there every single time, but you at least can reach out to these people.
Yeah, and I think that's such an important piece of building this community, is ensuring that people who are new to it do have those resources to be able to lean on some of the more experienced techs in the area, to be able to work with them to get that experience, because it is daunting the first few times you're out there, especially if you do it by yourself. Anybody else want to jump in and add some ideas or suggestions to what's working in your areas? Tara, please.
We have myself, the state coordinator, and then we have 4 regional child passenger safety liaisons geographically located throughout the state. And one of them manages Facebook page specific for Minnesota techs, similar to somebody else that mentioned, I think it's Nebraska, that they have a Facebook page. In addition to that, we created a occupant protection website that we launched earlier this year called Buckle Up Minnesota. And on that web page, we have a technician password protected portion. Everybody has the same password. It's caused more confusion than I was hoping it would. But that's a part of the website where techs have different resources available to them. We also host monthly technician update calls the first Thursday of every month. Some of them are recorded that they can look back on, and most of those offer CEU opportunities for them to help maintain their certification. And then at the end, we provide any state-specific updates of things that they should know. I also started sending out a monthly newsletter to techs, and those are archived on the website on that portion of it. So those are a few things that we do here in Minnesota.
Amazing. Thank you. We appreciate you sharing. Kevin, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so in my role, I am, the CPS person, but I also happen to be the state lead for Safe Kids in my state. If your state's like mine, we have, I don't know, 50% coverage with our Safe Kids coalitions, if that. So we don't have like total coverage in our counties. So one of the things, and we're really early in the process, but we essentially designated a local point of contact people in those areas where we don't have a Safe Kids coalition. And the benefit to that is we kind of get to choose who they are. And so, it's not just the luck of the draw whether you have somebody good or not. And so we reached out to these people and we kind of told them, hey, here's the thing that we want you to do locally. We want you to be, somebody reaches out, they want to do a health fair or they want to do a car seat check event at their business or whatever it is. We want you to kind of field those questions. But we also want you to be in regular contact with the with the child passenger safety technicians that are in your area. We provide them with a list of the technicians that are in their area. When our classes are done, and here in South Carolina, we do the vast majority of the classes our program conducts. And so at the end of every class and our follow-up, we always connect those people with whoever their local point of contact is or their Safe Kids coordinator. But, in a perfect world, I would have Safe Kids coordinators everywhere and they'd all be great and they'd all be, super dependable and all that. But we just recently started this, but started filling in the gap with people we designate to cover anywhere from 1 to 2 or 3 counties for us. So we do a newsletter too, by the way. And a couple of things that we do in there is, so we have a recurring part in there where we have all of the instructors and technician proxies that can be found in South Carolina, along with their contact information and what county they're in, so people can easily, know who to contact for that. we try to post all the events, at least what we're aware of. That's one of the things we're struggling with a little bit, is getting people to let us know what they have coming up as far as events are concerned. But so that's just a little bit of what we do.
Amazing, Kevin. Appreciate you sharing with us. Adrienne, sorry again. Please correct me if I butcher your name, please.
No, you said that perfectly, James. Thanks.
Yes, go me.
This is Adrienne. I'm from Oregon, and I loved hearing all these ideas. We do a number of things. We've really been trying to rebuild since COVID. We lost a number of technicians through the process, and so we've been really working hard to rebuild that. And one of the things, in addition to mentoring and connecting new technicians with experienced technicians and newsletters and that kind of stuff, we also have been in the emails that we send out to recruit technicians, we have been including a statement in there like that if you're a new technician and you haven't been out to a clinic since your recertification, or you're wanting to practice your skills, we will have somebody there for you to mentor you, to help support you through the process. Because what we found was that a lot of our technicians, when they weren't coming out, or even when they were, when I would connect with them, often what we heard was that they hadn't done anything and they were really nervous and they weren't sure that they had the skills to be able to be involved, right? So we're trying to meet them where they are and give them that support so they know that when they arrive at a clinic or an event, or even at our fitting station, right, that someone's going to be there to mentor them, to support them, to help them through the process. And if they just want to come a couple times and watch other technicians and shadow, we're very open to that. And we're seeing more and more new technicians and some of our older technicians who haven't been involved or active in the community kind of come out of the woodwork some. So it's been really nice to see.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I love seeing in the chat too. I mean, you guys are sharing a lot of ideas and a lot of newsletter links and stuff. So fantastic, because that's exactly what we are hoping to get out of these sessions with you guys. I know that we've had some discussions with a lot of you as coordinators that you don't want presentations. You don't want us talking about topics you're already well aware of. You'd rather have kind of these open discussions. So the more participation we get, the better. Love it. Thank you guys so much for jumping in with this stuff. Let's keep it going. Anybody else have some stuff you would like to discuss with the group? Things you can talk about with, technicians, new techs, recertification, any of it is on the table. So in the chat, I see Darcel, and again, I apologize if I butcher any names, but I'm trying really hard. Mississippi, in this area, CPST, currently not certified, but searching for training, identified instructors, work with State Department. Yeah, let's keep going, guys. Keep some sustainability ideas going. I'm going to pick on Anna for a second. Are you still with us, Anna? Are you hiding somewhere? I can see you're here somewhere.
I'm here.
Awesome. So I'm going to ask you kind of a loaded question, and feel free to, do what you wish with it. But I know I was lucky enough to attend your update earlier this month. It was really well done. I don't know how much information you have for this, but I kind of wanted to get an idea, like new techs versus experienced techs. Do you have an idea of how many people were kind of attending overall, and kind of to that degree, who's new to it, who met some people that maybe they could work with going forward and stuff like that?
Thanks, James. Yes, we had our statewide child passenger safety technician conference a couple of weeks ago in San Antonio. And I believe we had 229 people attend the conference. We did have an instructor meeting before the full day conference, and we had like 35 instructors, I believe, that attended that instructor meeting. As far as new technicians, I know there's not a way to identify which are new, but you can tell which ones are the new ones because they're very eager and they're asking questions. But I think a lot of I can't give you an exact number on new technicians compared to veteran technicians. There was a whole lot of veteran technicians because a lot of those are familiar faces that you see over and over every year. But you do have some new ones, and I can just share a story about one of the new technicians that came out. And Somebody mentioned about making those phone calls, and I agree, making those personal phone calls can really develop a relationship. Since I'm the program manager for the conference, I was looking at the instructor list and I saw this one person's name on there, and I didn't know if she was an instructor candidate or what. So I looked her up and it just showed she was a technician. And it showed that she was a new technician. So she accidentally signed up for an instructor meeting. But just making that phone call with her, she goes, Paul, I have you on the line. Can I ask you some questions? So it came into like all these other questions, and actually it's built a relationship. I got to see her in person at the conference and meet her, and she's been reaching out a lot lately. So I think those phone calls can build those relationships. But as far as new technicians, I can't give you an exact number of how many technicians were there that were new technicians.
I appreciate it. I just felt like putting you on the spot, so I appreciate you jumping in and helping us out.
Okay,
Thank you. Mandy, you have your hand up, please.
I do. I actually wanted to go back to Darcel's comment in the chat. Since you're not a tech yet, can you tell us what would make you feel welcomed, or what you're looking for from instructors? Or maybe you can kind of give us the inside track as you're searching. What are you kind of looking for or hoping for? And sorry to put you on the spot. Uh-oh, Darcel, you might be muted if you're responding.
Can't hear you, unfortunately. We'd love to.
Yeah, your microphone doesn't look like it's muted, but we can't hear you. Put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Well, while they're getting back to us, maybe if there's other technicians on here that are coordinators but aren't instructors yet, maybe you have some ideas of how you would like to be approached or what might work for you. So we've kind of thrown out what we do, but we haven't asked what would you like for us to do, or how could we make you feel encouraged to become an instructor, or to take that next step, or to host an event if you haven't hosted one.
This group is not that shy. Come on, guys.
Well, I'll take you back to when I first started. And what was really awesome is back in the olden days when we traveled just a little bit more, I actually went to Colorado to do my instructor certification. And I was a little bit nervous, but I picked up the phone, which is something, again, I really like to do. And I called the lead instructor and said, hey, I would like to do this. And she said, yes, we would love to have you. So it was just that first sentence out of her mouth was Susan Goldstein. For those of you that know her, she's fabulous. But I said, hey, can I come to Colorado and join your class? And it was just that really first initial response from her that just said, yes, come on down. And so we hit it off from there. And it was really a great thing. So maybe it's first impressions and saying yes instead of finding all the reasons that would be such a hassle for her. But it was awesome.
I just want to build off what Mandy said. I think that's a great point to have local instructors in the area, even if it's just one. And that way the technicians have somebody to come back to. And especially if there's like a dedicated fitting station in that area, welcome them, have them come, get mentored, and build them so that they're empowered and excited to get out there and volunteer. And I was a volunteer tech. I did it because I was a mom and I knew nothing. And now it's my full-time job. And that's not the case for everybody, but I found that excitement instead of just taking the course and then kind of being left behind. I had a great core instructor community.
I can kind of piggyback off that a little bit too. I mean, it was a very different route for me to get to where I am right now. But it started out with being a volunteer technician, and it was kind of little bit out of necessity, a little bit out of other things of just trying to find a job, taking a first aid class, trying to get some different accreditations, and just being interested in something like this. And I mean, the class I took the first time, to be totally honest, wasn't great. Um, but I left there with some passionate people that wanted to learn more. So we kind of got together and got talking about it, and we're able to encourage each other that way, that, you know, we did want to get involved and we wanted to find other opportunities to be able to do this stuff. So being able to do that and just meet up with some other people with similar interests is really helpful. So that's a great way that we can kind of connect with each other and encourage other people to take the next steps once they've completed their trainings.
One of the things that we do here locally for the classes that we host here locally is we invite technician candidates out to an event, and we make it mandatory for them to take, before they take our class, to come out to get familiar with the terminology. But not only do they get familiar with the terminology, they get to connect with other students that are going to be in their class with them. So the first day of class, a lot of them already know each other because they've already met each other out in the field. And I think that gives that it's like an icebreaker to them. So when they come into the class, they're a little bit more calm about it. They're not overwhelmed because they know somebody in the classroom. So I think that's a good way to connect them as well.
Amazing, Anna. Thank you. Darcel, are you ready for us? You got that mic working?
I think I do. Can you hear me now?
Yes, you do. Welcome. We are thrilled to have you. Go for it.
Thank you so much. I had to move to my laptop. I don't know what happened. But first of all, I'm just glad to be on and to hear this encouraging information. I am actually new on board in a position here with the Mississippi State Department of Health, and the office is occupant protection. So part of that, of course, is with the car seats, doing the education installation, doing events and all of that. The downer for me right now is that I'm not certified. Eager to be certified. My background is community work, community engagement, and outreach. So this is right up my alley. But just trying to locate instructors or a class, looked out there on Safe Kids, did a profile and all of that. So that's kind of what I'm struggling with right now. Have several people that I've talked with that are techs. They're excited, but they are eager to for us to host, more events and let the community know exactly what we're doing here with the State Department of Health, that we have this resource. We have the education, whether they get a car seat or not, but they have the education on how to secure these seats. So I think Anna asked me what would help someone like me. I guess is the availability of instructors, kind of getting a clear understanding, you all, even of how to go about that, and to help answer some of the questions for the folks who were just recently certified and for them to become recertified. So just some of those things would be helpful if I've made myself clear.
You have, and the nice part is you just connected with this whole group of coordinators who would love to help you too. So you've got a lot of resources here. Thank you so much for sharing with us. It's amazing, and welcome to the group.
Thank you. Thank you.
My question, Darcel, would be, because I'm not sure what your role is in your state, but do you have are you the state designee for contact access for the technicians in your state?
I am.
Okay. So it sounded, unless I was mistaken, it sounded like you were asking about being able to find instructors. You should be able to pull what's available in your state off of that list. So,
and I did.
Okay. Are you asking about outside of those people that are in your state, or just getting to know them and getting connected to them?
Getting to know them, getting connected, and just trying to follow the proper procedures for that. So actually today it is on my to-do list. I did pull that list a couple of days ago, and I have identified four instructors. Actually, the young lady who was in this position, she's an instructor, but she has moved on to a new job, so she does not. That's the other thing, not having the availability. From what I understand, I think it's a 3.5-day class. So finding those instructors who can provide that service.
Well, another thing that you can do, I don't know if you've discovered this yet or not, but you can also look, so you should have access to the courses that have taken place in your state, and you can pull that list and you can see like who's taught classes recently, and that might give you a little bit of an idea about who's more active and who's kind of less active and more active, because you can see kind of who's leading those classes.
Okay. I'm making a note. So who taught some of those classes? And can you help me too with those who need to be recertified? They actually need a physical person as well. Am I understanding that right? Or can you be recertified virtual?
I mean, there's several different components of the recertification. So you've got to get your CEUs, that can be completely virtual. You have seat installations that have to be signed off by somebody, that can be done virtually. That's not traditionally how it's been done, but it can be done virtually. But that's like an instructor or a technician proxy has to put eyeballs, has to see that whole process taking place. And that's really the one thing where you've got to have an instructor or a technician proxy available for that.
Thank you, Kevin. And I don't want to hijack the meeting. I got one more question.
Yeah.
So on the CEUs, because I did have someone, we have collaborators as well. And so I had someone who their certification recently expired.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading up on how maybe they could get in right quick and get it recertified. But for those who say, I have some that will expire in September. So is this the time now to have them go ahead and start on their CEUs as we
Yes.
get an instructor? Okay.
Yeah, they can start on those as soon as their certification cycle starts. They can't actually recertify. They can't pay for their recertification until they're within 4 months of expiring, but they can go ahead and do all the things that it takes to recertify.
And we recommend that they start it sooner than later, because those 2 years go by fast, and then suddenly you have a day to get 6 hours of CEUs and sign-offs, and it becomes everybody else's emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I see I'm not alone, Fallon, Katie Fallon, thank you. And our grant is also under the Mississippi Highway Safety, Office of Highway Safety as well, our program.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. This is Kathy from Indiana, the state coordinator out there. We send out emails at a 6-month mark, a 3-month mark, and a 1-month mark to our technicians that are expiring each month. And we track it. So we could say, hey, NHTSA, we did our due diligence. We've given them 3 notifications, how we notified them, whether it was text, phone call, email, and if they recertified, if they don't. We track all of that. But we also, I send out a monthly newsletter with anywhere from 1 to 6 CEUs in there for them that I search around the country for, and make it completely easy. I mean, I hate to use the term, but it's almost idiot proof. You should be able to recertify. We make it that easy for you. In addition to, we offer grants to cover the recertification rate. So I also give them a list of instructors across our state that are available for seat sign-offs, so they can contact the closest instructor to them for their seat sign-offs, in addition to all the event notifications they get. So we focus hardcore, and we're still only in the mid-50s for recertification. So not saying our way is perfect, but so far it seems to be doing okay for us. So hopefully some of that helps you.
Amazing. Thank you. Anna, you got your hand up.
Yes, thank you.
I was just going to share with Darcel, I maybe an idea for you to do as a state coordinator, because we have 2 state coordinators here in Texas. And what we do is we put together a Texas CPS network meeting with instructors. And that might be a good opportunity for you to introduce yourself to the instructors across your state. And then maybe share with them, get information with them and see how you can get participate in some of the events. Maybe they more than likely they know all the classes that are being registered, but they could probably also walk you through the website on how to look for the courses that are already registered. But if not, I'd be happy to share with to help you look through the website.
Thank you. I most definitely will take that help.
Fantastic, guys. We really do appreciate everybody sharing. Tracy, go ahead, please.
James, I'm not sure how many new folks that we have to this group or nationwide, but I'm wondering if one of the coordinator forums could be maybe navigating the system and downloading the list and resorting it and deleting some of the columns that really aren't practical to send out for some of our new folks to this particular group.
I think we can absolutely do that. How would you like to help us with that?
I'll help in any way I can. I remember the first time someone showing me how to navigate downloading that and then searching for those courses. But I think everybody's, Kevin and Anna sharing that finding those instructors or the lead instructors from maybe past courses so that they're active and those are the folks you might want to lean on initially. So I'm happy to help in any way that I can. But I do remember my initial downloading of that the big tech list, and when I send it out, I delete certain columns that aren't necessary for everyone to know. So I think that could be helpful for some new folks to this particular group.
That's great, because I see a lot of nodding heads right now, so it sounds like we've hit on an idea people would like to discuss. So if you're okay with that, Tracy, I'd be happy to connect with you. Maybe we can talk about how we can work that into the next one.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
We got about 10 minutes left, guys. I just want to open it up. Is there anything you guys would like to? Kevin, go ahead, please.
Yeah. So I have a specific, like really conducting classes related question. I've been doing this for, I guess, close to 15 years now. And for the first time, I guess by the grace of God, we had a vehicle get damaged in class several months ago, and it was a person who had, volunteered their vehicle for us to use that vehicle for demonstrations and assessments. And so essentially my agency has agreed to, all right, like we'll pay for this one, but we got to figure out something going forward. And I was just wondering how other folks kind of handle that risk. I mean, do you guys, first of all, do you use student vehicles? And if not, how in the world do you work around that? Second of all, do you have them sign a waiver or whatever? My concern is, and it's more than a concern, I feel like it's going to be a certainty in our case that if I ask students to sign a waiver, nobody's going to let us use their car. And so I'm just wondering, like, how you guys might deal with that.
Sure. We got lots of hands up, so let me go one at a time. Tracy, is your hand up for this, or was that from previous?
Previous.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That means Kendra, you're up.
Yeah, I could say, so 1,000 years ago, we had the same incident in a tech class where a car got damaged. And so first, nobody is required to use their vehicle. We ask and we politely beg, but we don't require it. So that's part of it. And then we put it on the lead instructor. So if I'm leading, I emphasize and stress. What happened in this particular case was they put the clipboard on the hood and it scratched the paint. And so like we now don't, all of the pens have clicks, no more lids. That way you don't have to lose the lid. You have to click it shut. Nothing is set on the car. And then students have the option to not use their vehicle. But it gets harder if you have a whole class where everybody has a new car, then nobody wants to give up their car. So.
Yeah, I just don't know how, in our case, I don't know how we could have avoided what happened. We had a student who essentially hooked a wire with the lower anchor hook. And this wire was in the seat bite of this vehicle and you couldn't see it. And they were trying to get the bar, but I mean, you can see how a student could do that, got this wire, went to pull on it and ended up breaking the wire. And it was an antenna wire for the, like the remote, key fob or whatever. So, and I just like, I look back at, I just don't think there's anything I could have done to ensure
I've
that
never
that didn't
seen
happen.
a car where the wires or where the lower anchors are. That seems
Me either. Me either. Yep.
a little concerning in its own sense.
Yeah, that sounds kind of worrisome. That sounds like a vehicle problem.
Yeah.
But to kind of build a little bit off of what Kendra was saying, I try to use it as a part of the class and teaching opportunity for everybody when we're going to start going out to vehicles. Just again, reminding everybody, if you're going to work with a parent or caregiver, the last thing you want to do is put your clipboard on the car, lean up against their vehicle, just things like that. Make sure there's enough room to maneuver and do things safely. So I think that's one of the things that I don't think it would have prevented anything in this particular instance. That kind of sounds like a manufacturing defect, not throwing anybody under the bus here, but yikes.
Yeah,
You know,
no, like I
Denise
said,
is
it's
terrified right now.
not anything I've ever seen, but it was close enough to that lower anchor bar right there in the bite of the seat. And I saw where like they snagged it and ended up popping that wire. So
Sense. Kathy, I saw you kind of put your hand up and down a couple of times. Did you have something you wanted to add?
Sorry, you guys covered it every single time I put my hand up, like, oh, never mind. Oh, never mind. So good job.
Well, thank you. We're glad you put your hand up, so thank you. Anybody else have something you'd like to contribute or question you want to ask?
There is a comment in the chat asking what kind of vehicle it was, Kevin, so other people can be aware of which vehicle had wires in the lower anchor height. You're on mute.
So I know it was a Chevrolet SUV. It was not an Equinox. It was a 2024 SUV made by Chevrolet. I could get more details than that, but I know for sure it was a Chevrolet SUV.
Appreciate it. And everyone's going to be careful reaching into those lower anchors even more now. You're not just worried about chicken nuggets anymore. Now we're worried about wires. Great. Anyone else? Anything you'd like to add, guys? Any questions you have? Any suggestions you have? We are totally open to them. Nothing else. In that case, Kendra, do you want to share some slides and we'll hand this back to Marie for a minute? So before we wrap up, guys, I would love to just say thank you again for your participation. We appreciate it. I think this format has been encouraging to see the results and giving everyone an opportunity to chat through ideas and different challenges you guys see. If you do come up with more suggestions, more things we can cover in these forums, please feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you guys. Tracy, I'll be in touch. Believe me, we're happy to take help where we find it. And with that, I'll hand it over to Marie.
All right, good deal. I'm back. Not sure that I need to ask if anybody has any questions because I feel like this whole webinar has been nothing but chatting and questions. But if anybody has anything else they want to throw out there for the group right now, speak now. I think you can go ahead and go forward, Kendra. apologize if my reception gets a little nutty. It just started storming really bad here. So just want to remind everybody about a couple of upcoming webinars and trainings we have. The next CPS Coordinator Forum is set for October 22nd. It is on creative uses of national trainings. We want to be able to hear from everybody and share with you. Sorry, I'm at a fire station as well, and there's a lot of noises in the background. I really apologize. We also have our upcoming Educator Forum, which is on July 30th. We're really excited about this. It's what's new with car seat basics. So the car seat basics training that we're all hopefully familiar with, we are going to be doing some tweaks and some upgrades to that. So definitely want to check in with that webinar in July. And want to remind everybody that we have our nominations open right now for the CPS Awards. So please, if you have anybody that you want to recognize, technician, instructor team, instructor or technician, instructor team, definitely please get those nominations in. We want to make sure that everybody is nominated, that we want to get nominated. The nominations are due August 31st. And it felt like that was going to, when we started this, that was so far away, but this summer is already kind of rolling through. We're almost in July. So you definitely want to get those nominations in. So go to cpsboard.org/awards to find the nomination forms for that. And please join us. We have a couple of positions open. So if you are interested in joining us, we would love anybody who's interested to apply. We have 2 positions. The Child Passenger Safety Advocate Representative position is open on the board, and the Public Health and Research Representative is open on the board. So you want to definitely encourage anybody that you know in your area. If you're interested, or anybody else in your state or in your region that's interested, applications are due September 30th. And I apologize because I don't have my notes. So Kendra, can you share the website for finding? Oh,
it's just cpsboard.org, and if you click meet the board or whatever it is at the top, it'll bring you to the application there. There are 3-year term limits. The CPS advocate position is you have to be a technician or instructor. The public health and research representative, you do not need to be a technician or instructor, but it is preferred. So if you or your technician community is interested, please put this in those newsletters that you're sending out.
Perfect. And thank you. Just a reminder, the forum recording will be posted to cpsboard.org/cps-coordinator-forum again within 1 to 2 days. And with that, we are going to thank you for spending time with us, for sharing all of your wonderful knowledge, and we will see you in a few months.
Have a great summer, and we hope to see you at Kids in Motion.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your week and a good weekend.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you all. Yes. Thank you.
Amazing team. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Denise, I see you're still on. Are you going to go to a Chevy dealership and check out their lower anchors?
I don't know if I'm going to get to one right away, but I'm definitely going to ask. I'm going to copy that down. I'm actually definitely going to have to ask Chevy about that. You know, because we
it seems like
we mentioned about
wires down there.
Yeah, I think it's chapter 3. I talk about hooking to mystery